Hey you guys, what is up? So I just finished watching the new 2026 The End of Oak Street with Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor. Um the Platt family bands together to navigate their new surroundings after a cosmic event transports their suburban neighborhood into someplace unknown, which is basically like a prehistoric land of some sorts. Um, this is basically one of those survival type time travel kind of slash dinosaur adventure film. It's also kind of filled with mystery and sci-fi, and it also has who plays the kids, Macy Stella, who plays Audrey Platt. I'm only familiar with her from Nashville. She played one of the daughters from Arena James. And don't know Christian Convery. He plays the brother. Um, his name is Brian Platt in the movie. And other people, I don't know if they're really worth mentioning, but yeah, it really just surrounds like the family and their navigation of trying to figure out why this has happened, what they're going to do next, how they're going to survive, and yeah, it's one of those um kind of mystery type survival movies. But let's see what some of the reviewers are going to say. The End of Oak Street excels as a nostalgic homage to the 1980s Spielberg adventures, delivering masterful suspense, thrilling dinosaur action sequences, and impressive visual spectacle anchored by Anne Hathaway's standout performance. However, the film frustrates with illogical character decisions, lazy writing that fails to establish clear rules, and inconsistent pacing that prevents it from reaching full potential. While entertaining as crowd pleasing summer fare, most find it ultimately forgettable despite its technical strengths. So, with that being said, I was going to say overall, like the film was decent. I am a fan of Anne Hathaway. I think she's a pretty like one of those standout actresses. Ewan McGregor, I felt him forgettable in this movie, along with the kids. I don't think he did anything like groundbreaking. Um, the son was really getting on my nerves, to be honest with you. Um, the daughter's smart, but again I think they're kind of forgettable. Like none of them stood out. Um, I also wanted to say that with this, like if it was done right, this could have been like a legit sequel to Jurassic Park. Like if the Lost World didn't exist, this could have been like one of those films. But it's not a Jurassic film. Jurassic Park film, that is. But I mean, most of the dinosaurs look kind of terrifying, and like trying to envision yourself in a world like that. Like, what if, like what if that happened? Like, what would you do? But yeah, I mean, it was decent. Nothing to go, write your mom home about. It was just It was just very mid. But aside from that, let's see what some of the people are saying about this movie. The first one gives it a 5 out of 10. Let me save you 90 minutes is what this person is going to say. This one really makes you question why some movies are greenlit with a healthy budget and other better ones aren't. From the trailer, I probably thought this was some really interesting iteration of Jurassic Park, showing what would happen if, instead of dinosaurs being unleashed in urban areas were unleashed in dinosaur territory. Sad to say, friends, but you would be wrong. This was 90 minutes of inconsistent CGI trying and failing to enhance a story that made absolutely no sense. Prepared with at least 85 minutes of what's happening, what's going on, and similarly annoying questions asked about children to the parents who have been in the same situation as them for as long as they have. You get to see Anne Hathaway cry more than you think a person could with absolutely no help from Ewan McGregor, who may as well have been played by a mannequin. And you get to see a boy who is obviously old enough to know better, trying to fight off dinosaurs with a bow and arrow, to find a dog who only survived because the filmmakers didn't want to upset the audience. The best part of this movie was the score by Michael Giacchino, but it was so good that it felt like it was made for another movie. It started off well, which makes the rest of this so disappointing. The setup was nice, but once the dinosaurs showed up, everything got progressively dumber, and it was clear that no real resolution or answers were coming by the start of the third act. By the end, the only thing I cared about was the librarian and her mysteries. In this small, unremarkable town, she had the biggest, nicest house on the block, and she could effortlessly identify some random planet that had been extinct for 200 million years. Where's her movie? Um, that was something else I was going to mention. The boy, their child. Again, he was annoying to me because yes, he was walking around with this bow and arrow. Like, who are you, and why do you have a bow and arrow? This movie was kind of really illogical. Like, most of this movie made no sense. Pretty much the whole movie didn't make any sense. But um I mean, as far as like just trying to you know, make your mind just delete for a little bit and just go somewhere, like it's a decent watch. But again, viewers aren't dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, make this movie make sense. Like, why is this happening? Like, you're not giving any logic to this movie. And I don't know, just all of a sudden you're waking up and then dinosaurs are in your fucking neighborhood. Like, what? Anyway, let's carry on, shall we? There's no rating for this one. It just says I cannot understand anyone actually enjoying this film. So I'm going to say they probably gave it a 1, even though they didn't rate it. I genuinely don't understand how anyone enjoyed and of Oak Street. The first 15 minutes were actually fine and did a decent job of making me curious about where the story was going. Unfortunately, from that point on, the film just kept getting worse. The plot barely made any sense, and the writing is generally felt completely unbelievable. The characters were poorly written, and a lot of the decisions and dialogue simply didn't feel natural or logical. The way the dinosaurs behaved and also seemed extremely unrealistic, which made it even harder to take the film seriously. At times, I honestly wasn't sure whether the movie was supposed to be a comedy. There were a few genuinely funny moments, although I'm not sure all of them were intentional. The problem is that the film then tries to take itself seriously, and that just doesn't work. The ridiculous situations, unrealistic characters, and nonsensical plot make the serious moments almost impossible to buy into. The one thing I can praise is the visuals, which were quite good, and there were occasionally some tense situations that worked well. Also, I think a lot of the love for this film probably comes from this nostalgia for its setting and atmosphere. But once you compare it from films, excuse me, that actually handle plot, characters, pacing, and emotional depth well, its weakness becomes painfully obvious. Nostalgia and nice visuals can only carry a film so far, and for me, they weren't nearly enough to make up for everything else. Overall, I thought this was a just a terrible movie. I'm most likely going to give this a low rating, um, but um, yeah, this one apparently someone actually enjoyed. 9 out of 10. A Spielbergian. I guess that's how they're going to pronounce it. Kind of like a Spielberg type of film. Breath of Fresh Air, the best dinosaur epic since Jurassic Park. Don't know about that. Don't know. David Robert Mitchell, the mastermind behind It Follows, has officially traded suburban dread for prehistoric awe. The End of Oak Street is a towering blockbuster that reminds us what true movie magic actually feels like. Mitchell shows a profound, infectious love for dinosaurs. He was crafted the undisputed best film on the subject since the original Jurassic Park. Furthermore, the movie boasts its glorious technical 90s image texture. It serves as a beautiful love letter to a end clever reinvention of Spielberg family sci-fi cinema, providing a desperately needed breath of fresh air in a box office utterly saturated with weightless CGI. The pacing takes a very slight dip right off the initial cosmic event, but it is a macroscopic grievance and a otherwise stellar thrill ride. While the whole ensemble is great, Anne Hathaway completely anchors the film. She brings a fierce, grounded, emotional weight to the surreal displacement of the Platt family, elevating the script far beyond standard blockbuster fare. Without giving away any spoilers, the final 15 minutes are the masterclass in relentless tension. Mitchell pulls off a jaw dropping ending sequence that leaves you entirely breathless and perfectly pays off the emotional stakes brought by the runtime. The momentum achievement is a thrilling visual distinct sci-fi adventure that demands your attention from start to finish. I don't know about that. I mean, like, there's some cool chase scenes with the dinosaurs. Um, and there's some scenes where like again they're chasing you and it's like they're about to get shit, whatever, and you're trying to fight them all, blah blah blah. But overall, I mean, I hate to say it, but this film was a miss, a swing and a miss. Um, this one is a 7 out of 10. They don't make movies like this anymore. I love this movie so much more than I expected to. It was such a nostalgic hit and honestly reminded me of how much I missed the kind of big old school adventure film. It has a very Jurassic Park vibe, in the best way possible. The dinosaurs, the sense of wonder, the constant feeling of danger, and that the excitement of not knowing what's going to happen next. It genuinely felt like a proper survival action dinosaur film, rather than some trying too hard to be clever and revenant the genre. And surprisingly, it was really heartfelt too. I actually cared about the characters and found myself getting invested in the relationship and whether they were going to make it out or alive. The emotional side made all the action feel it had something behind it. More than anything, it just had the old school blockbuster magic and feels increasingly rare these days. It's big, fun, adventurous, and completely unapologetic about being a dinosaur movie, and I honestly had such a great time watching it. One of my biggest surprises of the year. I don't know. I mean, hey, everybody has their opinions, and that's great, but it just didn't hit me like that. I think this is the last one. Yeah. Another 7 out of 10. Mitchell proves that there is still life outside of Jurassic Park. The end of Oak Street feels like an 80s ambulance style adventure where someone decides to drop killer dinosaurs right into the middle of the neighborhood, and somehow it works remarkably well. David Robert Mitchell significantly ups the scale after it follows, and he knows how exactly to use houses, streets, and whatever might be hiding in the backyard uh, of a shot build tension. The dinosaurs are treated as genuine threat. Anne Hathaway runs, fights, and carries much of the film's emotional weight, and the movie manages to blend adventure, suspense, and the family drama without being feeling like three different films fighting for space. The script requires a healthy dose of suspension, of disbelief, and some of the creatures clearly respect plot armor whenever necessary. The mystery also promises a much more interesting answer than the one ultimately delivers. Still, after years of which dinosaur movie has practically become synonymous with Jurassic, it's surprisingly refreshing to discover that all it takes is putting one of the neighborhood neighbors' garage to make the whole thing feel new again. All right. Well, again, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. It just didn't hit me like that. I mean, I might agree with the nostalgia base of like it kind of feeling like a Jurassic Park type movie. But I don't know. It again, it was like a swing and a miss. So with that being said, I think I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10, and yeah. Um, it didn't say until like maybe yeah, I want to say mid, but kind of early into the movie that it was the '80s film. Um, I don't know why it was an '80s film. There's no like reason why. I mean, I don't know if you need a reason to like go back into the '80s, but it was just kind of weird. Um, there were like when promoting this movie, no one said, "Oh, hey, this is an '80s movie, by the way." Um, but once you start watching it, like you can tell the vibe of it because of the clothing, the cars, stuff like that. I mean, look, I was born in the '80s, so I know what the '80s looked like. Um, but overall, I mean, it was a decent film. I don't think I would ever go back to rewatch it. It did give me that, like, look, the Goonies, um, a lot of Spielberg films. There's so many 80s films that I can probably go back to and be like, you know what? These are films that I would go back to rewatch. Um, Jaws, which is not 80s, it's like late 70s. Um, what Stand by Me is it 80? Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. This movie was just again very mid, average at most, But anyway, if you watch this movie, I would love to know your opinion. Let me know what you thought. And hey, please subscribe. I am trying to I'm trying to boost my channel, and I would love to be able to do what all these other YouTubers are doing to like make it relatable to you guys. I would love to reach out. Um and please let me know what else I can do. I'm all ears. Let me know. Let me know. But other than that, that's it. Again, please subscribe and click the like button. And see you next time. All right. Bye. Mwah.